Right, and hello. This is Behind the Paddle. I am Paulson Victoria.
And I am Emily Sun.
Yeah. Today is it's gonna be a good episode, I think. So, what does a Japanese penis festival, Moana, and the Sundance film Teeth all have in common?
Well, that would be Vagina Dentata, which is Latin for toothed vagina, and is a folktale tradition in which women's vaginas are said to contain teeth, and is often associated with the implication that sexual intercourse might result in injury, emasculation, or castration for the man involved. They've been used throughout the world as a way to kind of warn of the dangers of unknown women and to discourage rape, as well as kind of preying on men's fears of castration and the inherited cultural belief of just women being dangerous again, and women's sexualities being dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, I love all like if you've listened to our previous podcast, you would have seen how there is such a stereotype of like how magical women are,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not in a good way.
Sometimes, but mostly not.
Yeah, mostly not.
Mostly we're just gonna cut people's dicks off.
Yeah, and like laser babies.
Yeah.
Well, not even laser, just stare at them.
Poisonous vapors.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. This lovely, what would you call it? This lovely, not stereotype.
It's just it's a myth that seems to be present throughout the world.
Yeah.
Um,
We're going to chop your dicks off.
Yeah. So the term vagina dentata was first coined around 1900 by, funnily enough, Sigmund Freud, which I found very interesting. It's not something that I have heard of being attributed to him in the past, but it kind of goes along with the description of his idea of devouring or being devoured, kind of around topics like the mouth and the vagina and his whole thing. Man needed therapy, just not from himself. So the term wasn't originally literal in its depiction, that it wasn't actually about there being physical teeth in a vagina, but around this kind of idea of orifices devouring, I mean, whatever was put in there by the sounds of things, but was later co-opted to kind of indicate the literal castration of men, and the kind of castration anxiety and just generalized fear of women that is just kind of perpetrated throughout history. But I feel like this is quite a blatant example of that.
Oh yeah, we all casually have teeth down there and want to chop dicks off or whatever goes in there. We're gonna find out a few other standards and other myths that include just vaginas and penises and just the whole, what is it? Is it are they trying to say no, don't go near a woman?
They're trying, so there's kind of pros and cons to this as a concept, and as something, it seems to almost be like a fable, as a way to teach men not to sleep with women that say no, because this might happen. So it's a way, it's like a kind of anti-rape story as well, as one that is just kind of not dehumanizing women, but is kind of painting their sexuality to be this potentially dangerous thing. So it's like the kind of duality again where it's a good thing they're teaching little boys, like,
Consent and
consent, yeah, or bad things might happen to you, but also that that women just always have this like other side to them, that they always have this potential like dangerous aspect to just being around them.
Yeah. I feel like it can be very controversial, this subject, in the way of how things are portrayed.
Of course, this is just an opinion, like this can be taken in a multitude of ways.
Oh yeah.
But I find it interesting that it's one story that has popped up all over the globe, like totally
absolutely.
independently to each other. Like it, I'm not saying there's truth in it. I'm just like, it's interesting from like,
everybody's got their own perceptions about it and theories, and just because what we're going to go into next is, it went very viral. At least when I saw it, it was very much, I don't know if it was on the news, but like TikTok especially, with the penis festival. So Japan has a penis festival, and I feel like a lot of people have seen this somewhere, because it's not every day that there is a penis festival.
No, of course, and it's quite like a big tourist attraction and stuff as well, because it's just something a bit different. It's not something that you see every day. I definitely don't think it's something that would be even allowed in the UK.
Oh no. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of men in the UK who would love a festival just based on their penis, basically, and just to see penises out there. I feel like they would react the same way with like football, maybe just cheering.
I don't know. I just don't even. I think it would just get shut down here.
Oh yeah, but
do
if
you mean like a secret one? Like,
oh god. I mean, if the UK was actually open to doing a penis festival, I'm just like, okay, so they don't want to fund for like trans people, they don't want to do like kink or anything, but a penis festival,
that they can get behind.
Yes, that they might be able to get behind. But like, if that happened, I feel like the men might actually be okay about it, because it's just it's their member.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
there's a reason why school daughters are full of them. It's
going
back to Sigmund Freud again. I mean, we're all obsessed, apparently. It's him that came up with the whole penis envy thing as well, I'm sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh god. Men. Again, this is another reoccurring thing that we're finding out, is like a lot of stuff is done by men. And it's very interesting, because I would love to do an episode actually about something that has came out from a woman's perspective, or a woman has said.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's possible.
We'll see.
There is a penis festival in Japan
called Kanamara Matsuri, which just translates to Festival of the Steel Phallus.
Yep. And they have like multiple different things, like candy, carved vegetables, decorations in the illustration of penises.
And they go all out.
It's very, very big. If you look it up, they're like waving stuff, there's blow up things. It's very heavily popular.
Popular.
Yeah, the festival started in 1969.
Hey.
And as you said, it's became something as a tourist attraction. And thankfully, it is used to raise money for HIV research.
Yeah.
Which, that's so good.
It's so wholesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, going back to if it was in the UK, I don't know if that would even sway most men to actually participate in that. There's like shrines. What are these shrines? I do apologize. I'm most likely going to butcher these names. Are you
Do you want me to read them out?
Yeah.
So it was just, this is things that are taken through the streets as part of the festival.
Mm-hmm.
This is just wee descriptions of them. So the first one is Kanamara Matsuri.
So that is a portable shrine with a square base and a roof. A wooden phallus
Yeah.
is housed inside, the oldest of the 3 portable shrines.
And the second one is called Kanamara Boat Mikoshi.
A portable shrine with a boat-shaped base and a roof inside a glowing black iron phallus is housed upwards, and it was donated by Hitachi
Zozen.
Zozen.
And then the last one is Elizabeth Mikoshi.
A portable shrine with a huge with a huge pink dildo on the base. There is no roof. This is a portable shrine. Was donated by a cross-dressing club.
Yeah, this is why I included it, because I found that really interesting. Yeah, like...
Again, with the UK, I don't know, like, I don't think this would pass at any point. Especially if, sadly, somebody, not necessarily was in the cross-dressing club, but, like, there was a cross-dressing club. I don't think it would, like, help or anything like that. Because we've got so much underground stuff.
I feel like anybody that was bothered by the club would also be bothered by the festival, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's the same people that would, like, take offence to both of them.
Yeah.
And, like, they wouldn't be invited anyway.
The other 2 portable shrines are mainly carried by local parishioners.
Yeah.
While the bearers are mainly women who chant
Kanamara.
In 2016, the shrine switched to being displayed on a wheeled trolley. In 2017, the cruising on the road was revived. But it was a one-way trip to
Daishi Park.
And after being covered with a white cloth in the park, it was pushed back to the shrine.
So that sounds like it wasn't allowed to be, like, out on the public roads. And I think that's why they're mentioning about it being covered by the cloth, so that, like, when it's not in the designated areas of the festival, it's not just a big pink dildo being carried by the street.
See, now that's interesting.
That is interesting. I feel like that's the only way it would work here as well, as if it was, like, specific.
Just everything
places.
covered up.
Yeah. Everybody just imagines what's going on underneath.
It's just ghosts.
Yeah, because the actual festival's centred around the Kanayama Shrine, which is in, like, a set place, so I think the parade, like, must have a route that it goes.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that there's bits of that they're, like, pure chucking a big sheet over it, but... Yeah.
No, there is one story relating to the festival.
Yeah.
Of steel
phallus.
Is a variant on the Vagina Dentata myth, which appears around the globe. In this story, a young woman is wooed by a demon, obviously. Have you ever read one of those TikTok
Story
books?
of my life.
Yeah. Somebody's been using too much Wattpad.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Right? She refuses him, so she don't want any of that demon. And the demon obviously seeks revenge.
You know, because you can't say no.
No, you can't just be like, don't want none of that. Thank you.
So he does what any man would do.
Yeah, seek revenge. So he takes up home inside, where else? Her vagina.
Every time we're looking into stuff to do with vaginas, there's always, like, lizards or, like, snakes
Something sneaking
or
up there.
demons or teeth. Just chilling in there.
Like, I sleep naked, so God knows what is up me right now. Like, it's not good. Just keep your panties on. But then, if, like, we don't know if when the demon sneaks up her vagina, we don't know if he's got, like, hands or anything, so we could have just peeked knickers to the side. You never know.
Dive on in.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes in there thinking that if he can't have her, nobody can, obviously.
Yep.
The young woman gets on with life despite having a demon-possessed vagina.
I love that line. It's great. She'd just be out there chilling.
She's just chilling, like, she's fine.
That makes it seem like she knows about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if she didn't, like, that's
she'd
obviously...
be like, get out! She's just reaching there and get the fucking demon out. On her wedding night, the demon in her vagina bites off the penis of her husband. So he's got no penis. He can't have her. The demon's like, nah, mate, she's mine. The young woman is still determined to live her full life, even though she's
witnessed this horrific.
Yeah, her vagina has just like fucking eaten a penis.
Like castrated somebody in front of her.
Yeah.
I feel like you would die. I feel like unless you got like
Yeah.
instant medical treatment, that would be.
Absolutely.
Like,
I think he's gone.
Yeah. A lot of blood.
And she's
flowed
just
to the area.
yeah. And she's just like, I'm not gonna get this checked out. I'm just gonna carry on with my life. So yeah, she's determined to live a full life. She marries again. Again, I don't know if I'd be able to do it like her, because it sounds like she just goes from marriage to marriage and no sex in between or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's saying.
We don't know when this story's from, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the day, like, don't know, you
They'll
had
be
to get
shamed
married
upon
to have
and stuff.
sex, like.
Fuck that. Like, again, that is another like podcast episode we could do where it's just like, women can only have sex in marriages and things because like religion as well.
I mean, men are the same though.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like
I doubt it. I fucking doubt the men actually.
There's less evidence when a man has, so
Yeah.
yeah.
The same thing happens on her wedding night. The demon in her vagina bites off the new man's penis. So bye bye.
At that point, she's like, right.
Yeah. She's like, right, this is happened.
This is clearly me.
Yeah. They're not just falling off.
Wasn't it just like
proper like Kill Bill style? The blood just spraying out everywhere.
And she's like, oh, I wonder what's wrong with him.
I know. It just plops out of the vagina as well, the dick.
I wonder, he must have ate it, no?
I don't know.
It does not say. We'll just assume that it does.
Does that mean the demon likes dick though? Just a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, he has like voluntarily put one in his mouth twice now.
Right?
And like potentially eaten two. I don't know what that means. I feel like that's a separate issue.
I think this demon's a bit confused of what he wants sexually. Yeah. Now, with what's happening, it's just unacceptable.
I love it how it's at this point. She's like, nah, mate, I want my whole. Like, this is like, it's not like she lost her beloved. She's like, nah,
yeah.
This needs
I
to.
have sex, mate. I want to have cock.
Third time's the charm on the guy, you know? But like.
Right, so she heads off to a blacksmith with a unique commission. A large dildo made from iron or steel. So when the young woman uses the metal dildo, the demon thinks it's yet another husband for a snack.
Snack, so he's definitely eating them.
Yeah, right? He's just munching on those dicks. And he does what he always does and bites into it. So she's went to a blacksmith and she's went, yo, blacksmith, Can you make me a metal fucking dick?
Imagine going to your local. Because I don't think blacksmiths like travelled around, like she probably knew him if it was just like in her town. He's like, oh bye. Like,
Yeah. She's like, I'll give you a few quid if you make me this big dong.
He's just like, she's at it again.
She's like, look mate, there's teeth in me. You want to try it? You will go. So yeah, this demon fucking bites it because, you know, he's hungry for cock. Unfortunately for the demon, the metal shatters his teeth and he leaves the woman alone. And she lives happily ever after.
Result.
Job done, mate.
I hope she left that blacksmith a glowing review.
I know. She gave him a tip. Oh.
So I've actually heard there's a couple different myths that are really similar to this. In another version of the story, it's like a king with a princess that he's trying to marry off.
Oh.
And every suitor gets his dick bitten off until one day the local blacksmith approaches with a metal like penis that he's made, and he's like, if I try this, can I marry her? And the king's like, yeah. And it's like a fairy tale, like he gets to be like a prince at the end.
That's a weird Grimm's fairy tale I've never heard of.
I like this version better because like this lassie's just like. I love that it took twice for it to like sink in for her.
Oh, maybe this is my vagina.
Maybe she didn't even want to get married.
Oh. But again, we don't know when this is set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. So we've talked about the lovely penis festival. So
you've missed a wee bit.
What bit did I miss?
Due to its, be okay if I just read this bit?
Oh yeah.
Cool. So due to its location, the Kanamara Shrine, where the festival takes place, has historically been visited by a lot of travellers and traders just passing through, which meant there were many brothels and therefore sex workers in the area. And because the sex workers were at a higher risk of STIs, with so many customers coming from all over and not staying long enough to vet, they prayed at the shrine for protection from STIs, which is why the proceeds from the festival are given to an HIV charity, which I think is really nice. It's so wholesome. Like, it's kind of came full circle. And there's also the theory as well that Vagina Dentata is like an analogy for like STIs as well.
Okay.
So it all just links them together quite nicely.
No, that's lovely that they fundraise for HIV. It's really nice.
Yeah.
That kind of makes up for it, I feel.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
This is why I like the kind of empowered women story better, because it fits what they're still doing there at this time. And also, there's a big like hot pink dildo like that people are carrying about the streets. It's great.
Yeah, at the start we asked about what the Penis Festival and Moana has in common. So yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, sure. So in Maori mythology, the trickster Maui, who you might know from the film Moana if you've seen it, obviously he sang a song about all his deeds over his lifetime. This one was not included for like obvious reasons. Also the fact that it's the story of his death, sadly, so it wouldn't have been anyway, or there wouldn't have been a film.
God.
So Maui was tricked by his father into thinking that he had a chance to achieve immortality. And in order to obtain this, he's told to enter the goddess Hini Nui Te Pure, by turning into a worm and crawling into her vagina. She's the goddess of night and death. Sorry, I said this wrong. Cool. Turning into a worm, crawling into her vagina, and climbing up through her and coming out her mouth while she sleeps. And because she was the goddess of death, like essentially he's like reversing that process, making himself immortal by like traveling through her backwards and like inverting the kind of the death process, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he gets there while she's asleep. He undresses himself and gets ready to enter her by turning himself into a worm.
Oh.
Yummy. I love how this is called his trick. Has been was ruined when one of his friends, the Pawaka, which is a New Zealand bird, laughs at him and wakes her up. She then bites the worm to death with her obsidian vaginal teeth, making him the first man to die and bring like the cycle of death into the world. I feel like this is quite a poignant story because she became the goddess of night after discovering that the man she was married to was her father. She'd bore like so many children to him, and when she found out that he had took her virginity, she felt so ashamed and hid herself in eternal darkness, became the goddess of night, and is the reason for like the colour red in the sky. And she's like Maori Davy Jones. Like she shepherds like lost souls into the first level of Rarohenga, which I think is like the underworld, basically.
Right.
To ready them for the next stage of their journey. So like her kind of origin story into becoming the person that she is, like, involves rape as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty grim. I think he deserved to get munched up.
On, yeah.
To be honest.
Not in a nice way.
So yeah.
That's dark. I can see why they didn't put that in the movie, to be fair.
To be fair, that would need to be like at the end of the film, because if that's him dead, that's what I mean. Like if he's dead, they could really like save the island and yeah.
Oh god. God, that is so depressing. That like there's stories there's myths like this where women just get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And it's like
there's mostly always a consequence to it though, which is good. I'm not saying never, but I feel like stories like these, as much as they're like a bit hard hitting and a bit much to listen to, like they have served a purpose over the years, and like explaining consent and not even the complexities of that. But like the consequences of they've made consequences to it.
Yeah, your penis get chopped off.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's, like, a good fear to put in somebody, you know? Hopefully that would, like, put them off. Like,
you never know these days.
I feel like we need to bring this back. Like...
Well, talking about bringing back, going on to the Sundance film, Teeth.
Which, if you've not seen it, watch it. It's a good watch.
Yeah, it's a comedy horror type film.
Yeah. Very Jennifer's Body-esque, I would say, for me.
Yeah, without the sexiness, I'd say.
But... and like the murderous female, like, protagonist. And still also like a cult classic. I don't know. I feel like it's not a stretch to compare the two.
I agree with the cult classic thing, definitely, because I haven't watched the movie Teeth in years, but I still remember certain scenes, like, especially remember, like, I think she went to go get x-rayed and stuff, and she saw there was teeth down there.
I think that was the cover if you had the DVD, because I had the DVD, and I'm sure the cover was, like, the x-ray.
Something like that, So, there was a Sundance film called Teeth in 2007. The budget was only $2 million, and I think it did
alright. Yeah. For being like an indie film with like that small a budget, like I feel like it told the story well.
yeah, absolutely.
Like the acting in it was not horrendous.
Yeah. It says here, limited release in the United States in 2008 by Roadside Attractions.
So it just premiered at the Sundance Festival then
Yep.
in 2007 and then came out in 2008.
And then it came out on DVD and like everybody had it basically. I want to say it was very much a what? What is this film about and where does she have teeth? But we were discussing before we hit record on the podcast about how in the movie there is a lot of times where she's like sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And the teeth then become very helpful.
Yeah.
In the ways of preventing that.
So I didn't write this down, but just to give like a rough overview in case you've not seen it. Girl in like it's no chastity. What is it when Christians have like wee groups where they're like, oh, abstinence is like an abstinence support group.
Yeah.
For wanting a better way of putting that. At school, ends up going out on a date with a guy who then rapes her and she bites his dick off. And this is how she discovers, like, from her vagina, which is how she discovers she's got teeth there. So, like, there's a kind of ongoing theme throughout, like, every time that happens, it is because she's been raped. Like, it happens a lot. That's why it's quite, like, a hard-hitting film. Because there's a bit where one of her friends, like, gives her a sedative and then uses, like a vibrator on her. You know, because they need to have that in there. It was written and produced and directed by men, so yeah.
Which again, this is like what we're saying is like a lot of this stuff is done by men where we're just these terrible people and we've got freaking teeth in our vaginas and things. And thankfully, as we said before, like they have consequences like sexual assault and things like that when it comes to these types of myths and festivals and the movie Teeth. So I think it's very controversial in the way is it helping basically? Is it helping by showing the men that it's not good if you sexually assault somebody or whatnot, because it's difficult because it's easy to like do it in a comedic way, just like my vagina's got teeth.
I like Piranha Double D's style.
Yeah,
like yeah.
And then it's just like, but you will go to jail, hopefully, because there is a large amount of sexual assaults which just do not get recorded, or the victims sadly don't come forward, or nothing is just done, or the person gets off on it, as in like
gets away with it.
Gets away with it, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they get off on it as well, but it's just one of those things, sadly, where is it doing more harm than good?
Yeah, like I think one of the things, like one of the kind of takeaways from it is that the kind of protagonist misdirects a lot of the fears of what's going on onto herself rather than like those around her. Like her there we go, Purity Club, that was it.
Oh yeah.
So there's layers to this. Like I feel like I have also not seen it in years, but it's something that I'm definitely going to go back and watch in the next few days. But I just find it quite interesting. Like one of the themes that's been picked up on through the film is that she spends the full time wondering what is wrong with her, rather than the fact that like all of these people round about her are taking advantage of her. And like I don't know where I'm going with this. Obviously, in the film, there is something like physically like going on with her, but I feel like it's a good analogy for like how victims feel in that situation, where they kind of their instant thought is that it's something they've done. Like it's quite a good portrayal of that in a slightly comedic way, in the sense of they've taken that and like made it so like extravagant and so like what am I trying to say? they've made it not real. They've made it like
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, yeah, it's a very difficult thing I want to portray, because it's either you're fucked, you're gonna jail, you've done really bad, like something about like it's not it's not depressing or like disappointing, but it's like it puts a damper on things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why
What does, sorry?
like doing a movie or a festival betraying how shitty men can be.
Yeah.
I don't like, say for instance A Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rape scene in that.
Yeah.
That was portrayed very, very well, because that made people go, oh,
Yeah.
what the, like, it stuck in people's heads and they were like traumatized and really put off by it.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like The Clockwork Orange, that's in my eyes a very good portrayal of how shitty men can be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very hard to do that,
Yeah.
I want to say,
Yeah.
in a not comedic manner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't feel there's that many movies that do it.
Yeah. I think as well, like, when I was reading up a bit about when they were actually trying to get the film made in the first place, there was just a lot of places that wouldn't take them,
Mm-hmm.
and they were being labelled as like pornographic, even though
It's not got that
it's
about
not
it. It's not about
being sexually gratifying, but it's still like labelled as such in that context.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is possibly another kind of barrier as to why that's not. I don't know. There's still just a lot of misogyny, like in the film industry, and like that's fucking disgusting, to be quite honest, that it's been taken that way. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like, again, Clockwork Orange is like such a cult classic, and Teeth as well, and like Jennifer's Body, and it's all around women being sexualized in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not, I don't think there's many films like that these days where you get put off, or it's in a comedic manner and it's trying to actually give you
I think
a reason.
Yeah, I think taking a subject matter like that and trying to have like any comedy surrounding it like hits wrong anyway. To be honest, like I don't know. I feel like that's maybe more why it's not something that people are really touching on these days as much. Just like I think a lot of what people have taken from Teeth has been like people's take on it rather than what the writers and stuff were intending from it when they made it. Like I think it was supposed to be like more of a comedy, but the messages in it don't really fly like that for me these days. Do you know what I mean? Like in the context of, like a lot of what we've been talking about with just like how women are seen and portrayed, like it hits a bit differently than just.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's just like, why are you trying to make, like, I don't think to make a film about sexual assault you need to have a comedic bit. If it's dark humor, like Clockwork, cool, but you need like a very specific director and somebody who
it needs to be handled carefully. Yeah.
So this is why I'm thinking like it is controversial in some eyes, because it's been made comedic, and like I'm sure after that, after watching Teeth, there would be men out there who would be like, "Oh, your vagina's gonna bite me" and stuff, and it's not really the representation which I want to say most women want.
Aye, like I'd be interested to know if the person that wrote it and the people that made the film were aware of the kind of history with, like, a lot of what we've been speaking about and what we're going to go on to speak about, and its kind of use in kind of discussing consent and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like probably, considering that there is like sexual assault shown a lot, but yeah,
it gets the idea out there. It's another movie about sexual assault, which it's a struggle to get that out there in the first place, really. But we were discussing that it looks like there's going to be a musical about teeth anyway. So I really want to see how, hopefully, the newest generation.
It's kind of take on it.
Yeah.
Totally.
I know musicals are very usually light-hearted and musically and stuff like that. I mean, when I saw Wicked, I fucking nearly cried because like it was the ending and like, oh, you just don't hear about it. So musicals can be hard hitting and whatnot. So I don't know what this teeth musical is gonna be.
I feel like
or
we
entail.
definitely need to go and see that when it comes out. If it's
Absolutely.
not in America, because that's maybe a wee bit far. Watch it on
Just a wee
YouTube or
bit.
something.
But it's like oh, actually, to add to this, just the sexual assault bit and stuff. We talked about my interpretation, like Spirited Away, while we were in London recently. We just spoke about how the Spirited Away is on Broadway. Is it? What is it? No, not Broadway.
There's a musical in London for it at the moment.
Yeah. And my interpretation is that the girl goes into prostitution, and I can't remember the characters' names, but the black blob is like a punter basically. And
No face.
yes. And he gives her lots of money, he tries to tempt her and things like that, but she's like, nah mate, don't want any of that. So there are other adaptations of sexual assault, prostitution and things in like other countries and whatnot, which has been successful, absolutely. So that at least was like my thoughts and how it was portrayed to me. But yeah, like I don't know. We definitely need to like, what's the word? Just be serious about it in a way, like sexual assault and things. Yeah.
And whereas it's something that I think is important to be shown in media as a way to make people feel less alone. Like, I think it needs to be done in a very careful way.
Yeah.
So as not to like lessen the seriousness or the impact that has. Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so around the world, there's many stories. So this one is from India. Many stories of men vanquishing Vagina Dentata in India that the Washington Post theorized these tales as one root of the country's rape epidemic. What does that say? In the Indian state
Madhya Pradesh.
One of the most popular tales involves a Brahmin.
Is that like in Foley?
What?
No, ignore me.
What?
I'm gonna look up what.
Okay, you're gonna look that up. Who is convinced his love interest is a possessor of a toothed vagina. He hires 4 men of lower castes to kidnap and remove the woman's teeth down below. After their work defanging and taming the woman through trauma is done, the guy marries her, and they lived happily ever after. But probably not, let's be honest.
So Brahmin is the highest class in the caste system. So that's like an upper class person.
Oh, right, okay.
And there's also the cows and frolic, that was not.
Wow, okay.
Like the big 2-headed ones.
That's so weird that you remembered that.
It's spelled the same, that was why I was like, what? Yeah, cool.
Would you like to do Africa?
Yeah. So there are many stories throughout the African continent of toothed vaginas, and there is an argument that these stories are the backbone of the backbone to the practice of suppressing women's sexuality through female genital mutilation, which I found really alarming. I've not heard that before. It's not something that I've came across, but it makes total sense. Again, it's this kind of duality of like they're a help and a hindrance, these stories all the time, and they are continuing to kind of perpetuate this idea that women's sexuality is bad, negative, harmful, potentially lethal towards men, and are still having like massive influence on what is going on for women around the world today. There's also like a higher rate of rape in South Africa, one of the highest in the world. So it's also the place where Rapex, which is the anti-rape condom, was created, which is filled with rows of teeth. Like, I've seen it before. It was terrifying when I seen it. I didn't think it was real, but turns out it is, and it was actually created in South Africa as a kind of, I don't want to say partner piece, but like, I feel like all of these things are kind of linked in together, that as women are dehumanized by these stories and are treated as objects because of them, it's actually ended up being the story that someone's used to kind of help fight the problem as well.
Yeah. It's like I've seen one of the spiked condoms, and it's see, this really determines what type of person you are. Because if you look at the condom and you laugh, or if you make a joke or something like that, then that's a massive fucking red flag. Whereas when I see it, it's depressing and it's sad. It's the reality of that African women, or just women, who are in South Africa, or
I feel like these are used throughout the world. Yeah, it's just that it was created there,
and because they have one of the highest rape rates in the world. It's just like, this is the reality for some people, that they do wear that every day, and you know it does cost them money. So like, they have to pay to be not necessarily safe, but to stay. I don't want to say safe in the way.
I mean, if it's like, getting to that point, you're actually having to use that.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, it is there to stay safe, but like, having a penis inside you in general, I wouldn't say that's safe.
Yeah, totally.
Like, if you get what I mean, like, it's like, you're not safe at the end of the day. No. You're doing an extra precaution of.
It means they can catch them. That's the.
Yeah, catch them, and I don't know if it would prevent STIs and things like that, and STDs.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, it's sad. It's very, very sad that there are still women out there who have to wear these, and again, you have to buy them. It's not really something that's like given out, and it's just really sad.
I'd be interested to know if they were available here. They're not something that I've came across.
No, I don't know. We'll have to look at that afterwards, because if we do find it, it would be nice to have a little link in the bio of just where to actually find them. But again, I don't think we would wear them here.
No, I think like there's a lot of precautions that people take in South Africa as just a part of everyday life. Speaking for like just knowing people that have lived there, like I know there's like special film that people buy to put over their
yes.
The like the windscreen on their car.
Yeah.
That's like almost like what you would put on a phone screen, like an anti-smash stuff. Like they put a lot of precautions on their everyday life living there anyway, just because it is quite dangerous, I think. Like I know they get self-defense classes and stuff like that in school.
God.
Like the lassies do, as part of, because of the high amounts of rape there.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It's so part of their culture to have like stuff to prepare for that as part of your day. So
Yeah. It's like when we went out in London, we were like, make sure we look at our drinks and things like
Yeah.
that.
And that one taxi driver that was like a wee
Oh.
bit too much, who like ducked into a doorway that wasn't the place that we were going until he left, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The driver that we had was very
Interesting.
beautiful women. Like, are you guys friends or girlfriends?
Yeah.
And it was very, very pushed, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. It could have been totally like
Innocent,
but you never know.
No.
And like,
No.
we're in what to me is a foreign country. In a big city as
There's
well.
a lot of people
Yeah.
in London, so yeah. And right now, I don't know if anybody who's listening knows what's going on in England right now. There's like loads of riots and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's not really great. So I'm very happy we got out of England when we did.
Me too. Me too.
But yeah, in Chile.
Do you want me to read this one?
Yep.
So, the indigenous Mapuche, I could be pronouncing that wrong, of Chile, have a Chilean saying, "A woman of striking appearance has a biting vagina." So, again, it's just this warning to men of, like, beautiful women, like, are going to bite you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like whenever I see a really hot woman, that's how I feel. Just like...
But that's a want.
It's like, oh, she looks very tidy. She's very what's the word? Just like a boss. Yeah. No, yeah. Just men. And then in Russia, the folklore of northern Eastern Asia, as compared with that of the northern Western America.
Waldemar Bogoras.
Yes, writes about hearing the tale of a beautiful young woman who is married off to a gross old man. Okay.
Standard.
In order to avoid having sex with the guy, the young bride puts a fish head in her vagina, so its teeth will cut him every time he tries. The husband is traumatized. She calls him a fool for not knowing that young girls' vaginas usually have teeth. So I can only speculate that she's quite young.
Yeah.
God knows how young. And she lives the rest of her life without having sex with him. And okay, that's a story.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I had this guy friend, and me and my friend convinced him that like lassies didn't shit, and that we went to the doctors once a week and like had it all like taken out. And he like totally believed us. And like I feel like this is like it's the same vibe. Like men just don't know about what's going on with women's bodies to the point that like that lassie's like done herself a solid for the rest of her life, and like he's never gonna look that up. So he's just embarrassed that he didn't realise that young girls have teeth in their vagina.
So what was so it went viral on TikTok and so many people were doing it, where women put on some makeup and they were like, oh yeah babe, we shed like once a month, don't you know? And
yeah.
And like some men actually believed it, and it's just like, what? This just goes to prove that men and the whole world don't know that much about women and what actually happens with our bodies and everything like that.
Do you know the story of the first time NASA sent a woman to space? For I think it was 5 days. They gave her 100 tampons for 5 days, like 20 a day.
Oh my god, that's. I mean, we'll do. I mean, we'll do another podcast episode on it.
Yeah. I think this comes back to as well, like, even when I was younger, they still separated the boys and girls when they were doing sex ed. I think we were the last year
Yeah.
of that. Did you get that as well?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that as well. We went upstairs to talk about periods.
Why?
It
Like,
makes no
everybody should know
sense.
all of this. It's so,
Absolutely.
like, it's important. Do you know what I mean?
It really is. Yeah, going back to the astronaut,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, now that we know that tampons like contain so much bad
like
stuff,
lead in that.
Yeah.
Like,
if she wasn't certain 20 a day, which I'm not saying she was, but like, if NASA thought, like, she'd be fucking dead or something. Like, that's
get like arsenic poisoning or something.
So yeah, we'll do another podcast episode about that, because recently there was research done about how there's so many different ingredients in tampons of all things, and it's like toxic stuff. And we're
well, they've known for ages as well that like the fibers that are made up of it come off.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying they always stay inside you, but there's a chance that they can go like up into your system and cause loads of problems. And yeah, it's just not good.
Yeah, there's not a lot of research done at all. But
cool. Yeah. So, another story from the Americas is one from the Handbook of Native American Mythology, called the Ponca story, called the Teeth in the Wrong Places, which tells the story of the trickster Coyote's many sexual encounters. So Coyote, who was known for his large penis size to the point that he had to carry it around in like a barrow.
Yep, this is very believed. Yep.
Comes upon a woman and her two beautiful, dangerous daughters, rumoured to be man-eaten all over the countryside with their toothed vaginas. After spending the day with the family, Coyote is invited to spend the night sleeping between the women's two daughters. After the younger daughter reveals that the woman is a witch, who gave both of the young women Vagina Dentata, or Vagina Dentati, I think it's the plural. Coyote kills the older daughter when she attempts to bite him with her vagina. He then kills the witch and knocks out the younger daughter's Vagina Dentata, leaving just one blunt tooth that was very thrilling when making love.
Oh my god. So this one is very surprising, with the fact that they haven't went, oh, this is bad. They've went, you can still fuck him.
Yeah, you just got to leave one for like
the friction.
I don't know. I feel like that would hurt, no? But then I feel like that about some piercing, so maybe it's like similar. It's just like a different sensation going on in there. Do you know what I mean?
Oh god, I don't even know.
You're like, I don't even want to think about this. Because I love how he just like kills her sister as well, and she's just like sound.
Yeah.
Like,
well, she's knocked out.
Yeah. No, he kills the sister and then he knocks out her teeth. He knocks out all the teeth except one, leaving it in for,
the pleasure making. So, wow, there's no consequences with this story at all. It's just, nah, mate, I've just committed murder. And I've fucked her.
The older woman was a witch, so that's fine.
Oh, she's gotta go.
But the older sister did try to bite him.
Oh my god.
Because that's a reason for murder.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you're trying to rape me. I'm gonna bite you. No, bitch. No, you're not. You're gonna die. So that's very interesting that this is the, out of all the others that we've researched, this is the only one where there is no consequence. Yeah. There is just satisfying sex, apparently.
I think the satisfying sex is in fact consensual. Or it doesn't say otherwise.
So. I mean, if you kill my ma and my
well, it's
sister.
not. Apparently so the one that stayed alive and he had sex with told him that the woman was a witch. So I think she wanted him to kill her?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know if this story is trying to be like, He saved her.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the moral of the story is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that... Oh, I don't know. It's a blunt tooth.
It's a blunt tooth. That's even
She,
worse.
like, wore it down.
She got a nail file.
Oh, no.
That's all I can think. So.
But it was just another story from around the world.
So, my where I'm from, England, just to make that just to make that very apparent. I'm from the land of chips and gravy. So in England, before you leave this podcast thinking that women have women don't have teeth in their vaginas and things like that, we're gonna prove you wrong. Just a wee bit. There was a case of dermoid cyst.
Yep.
Or cystic teratoma.
Yep.
Which caused... Thank you. That's the Grey's Anatomy. I've been listening to teratoma. Which caused actual teeth to grow inside the uterus of a British woman. The specimen is now on display in the University College London's pathology collection and is just a bit frightening, you know.
Definitely going there the next time we're done in London. Which
hopefully will be... Well, I will be there in November, you'll be there in November.
Yeah.
I'll be there in October. I'll be touring for all those times. I don't know if we'll be there beforehand. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was an actual case of teeth in a vagina.
Aye.
It's not as like scary as
they weren't like
daggers or anything like
they
that.
They weren't like usable teeth because they were in our uterus as well, so they weren't like actually in our vagina.
No.
But dermoid cysts are really interesting because they can grow. They're basically made up of cells that can become anything. So sometimes they have teeth, sometimes they have hair, sometimes they have fingernails, and they can grow, I think, pretty much anywhere on your... No, they can grow where skin meets skin. So I think they can grow like under your arms, back of your knees, vagina, like anywhere that there's like two different types of skin, like meeting each other, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Maybe your lips then?
Oh, we're not doctors, but this is what we think.
But because of that, yes, they have one inside the uterus displayed in London, but there could be one like actually in the vagina as well. Like that is a possible place for the cysts to grow. So there could have been some examples of that have started these myths in the first place, potentially. We never know. So
yeah, I'd like to say we do go live when we do record these podcasts. And we've got a comment just saying many cysts with teeth and lots of hair.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh.
So interesting.
No. Oh. Yeah, this has been Vagina Dentata. Yeah, this is Behind the Paddle with Paulson Victoria
and Emily Sin.
Yeah, I think that is all we've got to say now.
Totally.
I think we've covered every little topic.
Yeah, if you're enjoying listening to the podcast, we would very appreciate if you could go on and show your support, and the option for that's on our website.
Yeah, support with tipping, subscribing, liking, sharing.
Yeah,
that is
totally.
Very much all appreciated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
As always, there's a little discount code for you guys, which is Behind the Paddle. If you use that at sanctuaryofsin.com, you'll get a little 10% discount.
Yeah. There is a market in Glasgow, the Uncensored Market, which you run.
Yeah, on the 15th of December. Tickets aren't live yet, but we do have our tickets for our launch event. If anybody wants to come and do a bit networking and have a bit fun and take some silly photos, the tickets for that are live at the moment on our Instagram, which is uncensored.market.
Yeah. When is the next Paisley's drag?
The 14th of August, which will be before this comes out. It's the
Is there another one after?
second Wednesday every month.
Oh, wonderful. That's great then. So, yeah, I think that's it. That's all we need to really cover. But,
Cool.
yeah, we have Instagram, YouTube, Spotify,
Just
Apple,
all the
all
usual
that stuff.
places.
Yeah.
Come and check us out.
So, yeah, thank you very, very much for listening.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.